You're listening to the AZREIA Show. If you're looking for quality real estate investing information that you can trust, you've found it. Stay tuned and join the tens of thousands of members that have already benefited from AZREIA, your home for education, market information, support, and networking opportunities that will advance your real estate investing career.
Welcome to the AZREIA Show. I'm Mike Del Prete, Executive Director, and today, again, I'm flying solo. Marcus is in Chicago doing some real estate, so I have my good friend, longtime AZREIA member, Brandon Simmons. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Michael's the best. If anyone doesn't know Michael, you got to get to know him.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Good. Well, let's talk about you. Let's go into Brandon Simmons. Brandon was, he's been around AZREIA, obviously, and he's taught here, helped Marcus and I with the wholesale step-by-step trainings. You always covered the creative aspect. And I know Brandon's really known to be a connector and creative guy. But you're an all-around real estate guy. Let's start there, yeah. Right? So I may have started like a year before you, maybe, give or take, back in the day. Probably. So let's take it back and tell us, how'd you get in the business, man?
So we'll rewind and go back in time a little bit. Yes. So before I got my first wholesale deal, I was in mortgages. I started with a small credit union outside of Louisville, Kentucky, and that's how we say it. We say Louisville. Not Louisville or Louisville. Louisville. And out there they had Kentucky Real Estate Investors Association and stuff too, and really good guys that run that out there too. But I was doing mortgages there. Then we moved to Arizona. I came out a few months before the family did. And then I was working at Wells Fargo Home Mortgage and worked my way up there. But while I was doing loan processing, I heard this podcast called Flip to Freedom with a guy named Sean Terry. I was listening to it in secret while I was at work off my BlackBerry. Tells you how
you didn't have wireless AirPods?
They weren't out yet, I don't think. Yeah, I think I literally snuck it down my arm.
The wire.
And would hold, put my hand on my ear like this while I'm typing or doing
Love
stuff.
It.
But I got connected with Sean Terry, did my first joint venture wholesale deal with Sean Terry. And I couldn't tell you about all the other hundreds of deals because we average over 100 deals a year. But I couldn't tell you about all the deals that I've done, but I remember that first deal.
Oh, of course.
It's like your first kiss, I wrote down, one of the things that I was told is write down my goals. I wrote it on a index card at the time. I said, I want to make $5,000 in 30 days, which was my birthday at that time. And so I wanted to make $5,000 by November 16th, and I made $5,500 November 17th is when I got my check.
Love it.
And it was just that moment, that aha moment, like, oh my gosh, this really does work. This works. This is real.
Wow.
And, Sean had a podcast that was going, and I remember he was talking about, there's this guy in town that he would have good months and bad months and good months and bad months. And that was me. He was talking about me because
cool.
You get marketing, get some deals, and then you're broke and you got to do it again and start back over and, finally figured out how to be more consistent and stuff. But it was interesting because I had the background of mortgages, understood the transaction part, and then I got laid off from Wells Fargo. And I remember
after your first deal?
This was a couple years after my first deal.
Okay.
It was a few years afterwards.
So you were going on and off
while
working?
Off. Yeah, it was sporadic. I wouldn't say I was consistent at all. I mean, I'd have some good months and then something with nothing, And then I had a full-time job, so I kind of had the golden handcuffs. And then became an underwriter, became a team lead at Wells Fargo, and ran a team and stuff, and made it through I think it was 14 or 16 rounds of layoffs. Finally got laid off.
Wow.
And the day I got laid off, I remember it was just you knew it was coming, but it's still shocking. And you're still thinking, what am I going to do? And I remember at the time I was trying to market either in Tempe or in Mesa because I lived in Mesa and I worked in Tempe.
Okay.
So I could either go right after work or right before, trying to stay close to home or stay close to work. And I went to the house where I did my first deal. And I remember just being in my car and praying to God and just what do I do? And it's the path. You know what's going on. And so I got another mortgage job. And then Sean Terry called me up and said, hey, you want to come work for me? And I was like, I don't know. I got good money coming in. I got insurance. I got benefits. And I remember my wife and my brother said, look, if you don't take that job, you're going to kick yourself. So I took the job, never looked back. My first year as a W-2 commission employee, I think I made $175,000.
Wow.
And that was like almost double what I was making in the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this will work. And never went down after that. And it was just like off to the races. And had the ability to work with Sean Terry for like almost 7 years. We also started a coaching program together, and we called it the First Check Challenge. So it was like how to get your first check in wholesaling.
Yeah.
I think we had 500 or 600 people go through that program alone.
Wow.
So.
Yes. Yeah, man, you got the operator experience, you got the coaching experience. So like, what would you say is like the number one hurdle someone faces when they're getting into real estate, whether they're a newbie with deer in the headlights or even you're a doctor and you're like, I want to get in, like,
I think it's just taking massive action and being okay with failure. Like you're going to, I think we have this bad connotation with failure, and like, if you're failing, then you're not progressing, but that's not true. Like if you think about little kids when they're learning to walk, how many times do they fall down? Do the parents say, he fell down for the 20th time today, he's never going to learn to walk? And they stop? No, they're always encouraging. They're always trying, you got this. And then they take their first steps. And then, then you got a kid that's you're trying to teach to ride a bicycle, and you're running as a dad. I remember teaching my kids to ride the bicycle, then teaching them how to drive a car.
I'm holding on. Yeah. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
This is the way we learn. This is exactly, we learn through failure. We learn through those processes.
Well, you said, another part about that I like to look at is, hey, when your kid falls down 20 times, you're always encouraging them. So what's important about having people around you, encouraging you? Like, what's your thoughts?
That's why, it's huge. One of my favorite books is Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. And in that book, he refers to the Mastermind principle. So when I was still with Sean, we started a Syndicate 9 Mastermind. And it's after the 9th principle in the book, which is masterminding.
Okay.
And the idea behind that is you need to surround yourself with other people. Everyone else in the world, your family, your friends think you're crazy. What are you doing? Like, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. And it looks like that on the outside, because that's how it looks like at first when you're trying to do anything. If you plant a seed and nothing's sprouting day one, you got to crack the shell and water it and take care of it. And that's how it is in business too. You just got to keep plugging through, and you're going to have failures. You're going to have mess ups. The number one thing I think that has helped me coach other people and help me have success is learning sales, learning how to talk to people. And sales doesn't have to be the car salesman, sleazy junk. No, I don't. And it doesn't have to be like 3 pages of scripts. It's really goes down to question based, like just sincere, build rapport, have empathy, find out what's going on, and see if you can solve a problem. Be like a doctor. I'll sometimes in my coaching, I'll throw on a doctor's outfit with a little stethoscope and stuff. And I'll have the little background on Zoom that looks like a doctor's office, because I want them to understand you're a professional.
Yeah.
And you can't diagnose someone and you can't give them the prescription until you know everything that's going on. You don't know it yet. And that's where like wholesaling, creative financing, all that stuff comes into place, because like maybe a wholesale deal will work here, but if they owe too much, then that's out of the question. What do you do next? And that's where the creative financing comes in. So you really need to understand what the needs are of the seller, what the needs are of your investors or buyers and yourself, and make it a win-win solution.
So true, man. It's funny you bring that up, because literally this morning, me and my son, we took our car to the dealership, and I'm sitting there chatting with the guy, and you have your jokes. You got the jokes, right?
You got good dad jokes.
Yeah. My son's like, this letter D popped up on the dashboard. I don't know. I forgot what it said. And the guy was like, oh, driver malfunction or something. I was like, no, it's in for discount. Yeah. Okay. He just kind of like shrugged it off. But then I'm looking to the left, and all the service providers have the city they were born in. And the guy, and it said Waterbury, Connecticut. I'm like, I'm from Waterbury. So I was like, hey, dude, so you're from the Waterbury, you know, kind of this.
That's
went out
crazy,
there.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right? And he's like, but I left when I was 5. And anyway, but he started going into my mother. I brought my mother back there. She saw all her cousins, all her sister. It was the greatest experience of my life. But then my sister came. She loved it. No one wanted to go home. And me and my son just stood there for like 10 minutes and just let him talk.
Yeah.
But you're able to find that highlight in life that you could sell house. And so all you got to do as a salesman and just a regular, being a good friend is, tell me what kind of car did you rent? Or where'd you guys go visit? And you just do that long enough, like they just sprout, and now they trust you and they love you, right? Like,
you found a connection. And that's why I call it building bridges. Like, how many bridges can you build? Like, how many things can you find in common? When I was training, like, our lead managers or people that were like our first person to talk to a seller before they got on the phone with the salesperson, we used to go that route before. I would quiz them. Oh, where was their last vacation? How many kids do they have? And if they couldn't answer some of those questions, they're like, oh, I didn't find that out. And so it helped them understand, like, it's deeper than, let me buy your house. What's their price? Yes, no, you know.
It's like so important. And, you know, I didn't have a plan on drilling down on relationship building today, but like before any strategy that we're going to start talking about, all the creative stuff you do, it's like, it starts here. Whether it's raising money, getting deals, getting referrals, whatever it is, it starts here. Like, that's why I wrote Fearless Connections, is because, like, I wrote about 8 or 9 stories of building connection with people in AZREIA, like that changed my life bigger than any PPC campaign, any PPL. Like, the skills I learned from working with people allowed me to do more deals.
On that, I used to joke with my kids, and it was ongoing. It was just a joke. I used to say, you can marry more money in 5 minutes than you can make in a lifetime. And if you relate that to like networking and connections, a lot of times it's that one connection, that one person can open the doors that you didn't even know. And it could be someone that you didn't even think, you know, maybe they don't have the money, but they know someone that does, or maybe they're in a different industry than you, but yet you're able to collaborate on something. And I love that, because that's one of my favorite books is The Go-Giver, the book, The Go-Giver. And I created a mastermind out here. We had it for like 7 or 8 years, and we'll have like reunions here and there. And we have some of the big guys that are out here in Arizona, like, you know, Steve Trang, Brent Daniels, Pace Morby, Cody Sperber, Sean Terry, you know, a lot of the guys you probably know that are in town that doing massive deals. But when we started the Go-Giver, we were all like new, wet behind the ears. We were full time, but like we were just in the mix, trying to figure it out. Right? There was not the people that were successful. It was like almost just pure bootstrap and hard work. And then you start learning about systems and operations and sales training and strategies, and then you start running a real business, you know. And that's where collaboratively, you know, through those networking events, you know, we called it REI Mastermind, but everyone nicknamed it the Go-Giver, because everyone, I didn't charge for it. We started with like 17 people, and it grew to over 200, some of the top, you know, flippers and wholesalers and lenders and stuff in the area. If in order to be in the group, I kind of learned from BNI. I kind of learned from BNI, and I also learned from the Phoenix Real Estate Club. Remember when they do the I haves, I wants?
Yeah, we do that 4th Tuesday of every month here in the office. We still do it.
So one of the things we would do is we'd have someone that we take turns who is presenting what's working well in our business right now, and then maybe they share something they need help with, and then we go around the room, what's working well and what we need help with. And that made everyone's, you know, they say, is it a rising tide raises all ships or something? So everyone's business started to get bigger and better and growing.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It was just because we were open. We were all competitors, but we were helping each other.
Got it. So talk about that. Because, you know, sometimes some of us are in sports and competitive. Some of business is competitive at the end of the day. But that group really talked about abundance and sharing. And you know, so like, what's your thoughts on that? Like, the competitiveness versus abundance. Is there a place together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there 100% is. We'd have guys fly in from Texas and Florida, other wholesalers that were big in their area.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'd come to our little Go-Giver Mastermind, and they're like, we don't have anything like this. People are so like tight-lipped and like hold their cards close to their chest and don't want to share anything. And it was weird to see people that are literally like doing the same type of marketing campaigns and basically competitors in the same market. Because at the time, most people were just doing stuff in Arizona. Mm-hmm. Then they started doing nationwide down the road, right?
Yeah.
And it was just amazing to see everyone was willing to not only like share what's helping them, but they would go to each other's offices and like check in and see what they're doing, and then try to implement some of the stuff that's working well in their office. And it was just like it was like pulling back the curtains of what a successful business looks like. And then here, what do you need help with? How can I help you? And servant-minded first, looking to serve first. But then, like the book says, be an open receive. And that's probably the biggest thing is we forget about that last principle in the Go-Givers, being open, receive. And when you're open and you trust, things seem to kind of unfold naturally and organically.
You seem calm today.
I am.
Yeah. Last time we met up, I'm sorry to say, you're like very like I'm in a good spot. I love it, man.
It's the last 2.5 years I've helped with a couple different startups. Mm-hmm. One was with Chris Crone, Carlos Reyes, and Sal Shakir. Another one was Sean Terry. Mm-hmm. So I was hired on to consult and help grow and build up their startups and stuff. And then I just had this epiphany that it's time to work on my own stuff. Like I've been helping a lot of people, and that's fine. But what also I think has helped centered me is mindset, like inner work. And I think people forget this, and I forgot it for a long time. It's working on ourselves and meditating, time with God, like the quiet time.
Yeah, you have what do you have?
I have different scriptures. Like this is the part I love. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Which is it?
That's a different scripture. This one's Philippians 4:13 here.
Got it.
So that's the idea is basically like whenever you rest in God, knowing that He has your back, it's almost like the imagery I think of is like I think of a guy like he's facing this army of horses and soldiers and knights and stuff, right? And they're all coming at him, and he's like, "Okay, God, it's just me, and I got this." And he doesn't realize that there's a whole army behind him that will outnumber and defeat the army in front of you. And I really think that as we start to trust more in God and start to understand the abundance that's out there, like it gives you a little bit of place to relax.
Wow, I can see it, man. Awesome. Yeah. And it's funny you say that. I was watching, get scrolling on things, and this guy was like, Noah's Ark, right? He's like, it didn't have a steering wheel. It didn't have a captain of the ship. And we're always trying to be the captain of our ships and control every little thing we do. Yeah. He goes like, God just wanted you to float. Isn't that cool, man?
That is very cool. That's where I'm at right now. Like,
there you go.
God brought me to a place of that where you need to become dependent on Him in a sense. Like He is the provider, and if you understand that, like we're just stewards. Like we're not going to someone's going to be living in my house years after I die. Yeah. Someone's going to be driving my car. Someone will probably have my clothes at Goodwill or something. Like I'm renting this. This is not permanent. What's permanent is that relationship and how you serve your fellow man. So, one of the things that I saw was going on in our industry, especially wholesalers, there was a time where we were just taking orders. Like everything was a deal. As long as you can get it under Zillow price, you can sell it to a hedge fund or.
Oh yeah, so pretty much COVID.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
In fact, I remember I thought I was so smart. I sold one of my last rentals right before COVID hit. I'm like, man, I timed that perfectly. The market's going to crash. And then the market went like that, right? And
what do we say? No one has a
crystal ball, right? and that's where we just got to realize, like, that analogy about Noah's Ark, that's amazing, because that's where I'm at. Like I'm in the Ark, I'm protected.
You got faith, man.
And that's I think the hard part for some people It's not knowing what's next or not knowing where the next turn is or what the next opportunity is. And you got to be calm and be comfortable with that.
Yeah. Day by day, man. One step at a time, man.
And if you're doing the inner work, did you ever watch that documentary about Michael Jordan, The Last Dance?
Oh, it was on during.
Yeah.
It's
amazing. And one of the things,
sure.
Remember they lost to the Pistons.
Okay.
It was like the Eastern Finals or something like that. They lost to the Pistons again.
Mm-hmm.
And so that summer they decided, we're not taking the summer off. We're going to hit the gym. We're going to put on weight. We're going to get stronger. Everyone on the team worked out. Michael was on them, drilling hard. This is stuff that's not in front of the cameras. Yeah. This is the stuff that no one sees in the off season. But all the work was put in, and that's what I feel like mindset work is. That's what I feel like a lot of the work that we do on ourselves, inner work that we do, the meditations, the prayer, the goal setting, whatever you want to say, like that's what prepares yourself mentally for that abundance, for that opportunity when it comes. And you're not exhausted. You're leaning into the hard. You're leaning into the struggle because you know that's through that path. It's like that's where the opportunities come. There's a story about like cows and buffalo, right?
Okay.
So if there's the storm coming over the plains, the cows run away from it. They're trying to get away from the storm. Well, the buffaloes run into it.
Okay.
And the reason why they run into it, they know that if they go towards it, it lasts shorter time. Where if you're running from it, if you're running from God,
you're always scared. You're just because the storm's coming. You're just like
you're running with the storm, so you're in that storm a lot.
You're in
longer.
that mindset of like, I'm gonna be scared. Wow.
If you understand the shortcuts of success is leaning into the hard work, is leaning into the practice and sales skills and stuff.
I'm gonna use that.
Go for it. Yeah.
That was a good one, man. So just going into the fair, going into the
unknown,
rip the Band-Aid off, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of times when I first get a new group, there's a great little video clip. It's John Wayne teaching a kid how to swim.
Okay.
And he's like, well, I can't go to that side of the bank because I don't know how to swim. He's like, he takes him by his breeches and his shirt and throws him in the water.
Yep.
And basically what they're saying is like, you're going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to look pretty. Like the kid, you can read all the books on swimming. You can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but it's not until you get in the water and start doing it. Yeah, you got it. You just have to do it. No one can do your push-ups for you.
Wow, pretty cool, man. So jokingly, I always say in a lot of the events, it's like every time I'd go to like a lot of seminars or education, they always talked about mindset. And when you're new, you're like, get rid of that.
Show me the techniques. I want to make some money now.
Money, man. I'm trying to get rich, man. So it's like, forget that. But then, obviously, being in the business, you realize it's all that.
Well, and one of the things that I realized is, we all have, like I came from a family, you came from a family. Mm-hmm. Your parents probably said different things. Like I remember, money doesn't grow on trees, like we can't afford that, and all those things that just become a paradigm or something that. Like a thermostat that we're stuck at. So even if you make that money, your thermostat's stuck at 70, not at 80. So you're not, you're going to spend that money or you're going to waste it or blow it on the fancy cars or something dumb, and then you're going to be back to that same position. So if you raise your thermostat where you can have room for that abundance, now God trusts you as a steward to do that, and you have to prepare yourself for that.
Yeah. And part of that raising of the thermostat is like education, right?
Yeah.
I think truly as investors or real estate or entrepreneurs, we're forever learners. We're always learning constantly, but we're applying, right? So you're always going to be a learner. So continue to get the education. And I kind of want to segue into education and talking because definitely want you to start helping people more around AZREIA.
Yeah.
You always have. But I want to be more conscious about it. And in March 14th and 15th, we're doing the Creative Finance Academy. So check out the calendar. It'll be on there soon.
Save the dates.
2 days of just creative finance stuff, right? So it's like subject to seller carryback, wraps, notes, all this stuff. So, we're putting it together now. Brandon's helping us out. So is there anything, why should someone understand these tools?
That's a great question. So I have 2 kids in their 20s. And there's a lot of data out right now, right? So it's harder for them to buy homes. The average age of the first-time home buyer is 40 years old now.
Okay.
It used to average around 28 to 32, like somewhere in that range for decades. I think your wife told me just recently, she said like the average age, I think, of the people buying homes right now are in their 60s.
Yeah. Wow.
So, like, it's just become unaffordable, and mainly it's because of interest rates. Prices aren't really coming down a whole lot, at least not in Arizona. My wife grew up in California, and you think the prices are going to keep, go up, they're going to come down, but they just kind of keep stepping up and up. So I think if you understand creative financing, you can use people's low interest rates if they own a property free and clear. All my rental properties were free and clear properties. Wow. I just negotiated with the seller. At the time, I didn't think it was anything crazy. I just remembered when I would wholesale creative deals, my mindset was I could not give the seller more than $5,000 because I got to make an assignment fee on it. Mm-hmm. And so I probably bought over 100 houses with less than $5,000 down. And it was just something in my mind that I can do that. And there's ways to manipulate the price, interest rates, and all that stuff to make it a win-win for everyone. And it doesn't hurt the seller, it doesn't hurt the buyer, and it gives you another investment opportunity and stuff. And wholesalers that don't know creative financing, a lot of them are doing novations right now, mm-hmm. and that's helping them stay afloat and helping them still do deals. So they're wholesaling on MLS, which is a great way to do it too. There's a lot of benefits to that, but then there's also the creative stuff that they're literally just tossing away,
Yep.
One of the biggest things I remember as a wholesaler, we would pay for paying a lot for leads, whether it's PPC, Facebook, direct mail, whatever, you're spending money. And we would take these leads that were mobile homes and parks and just throw them out. I'm like, why are we doing that? And then I found out, about a company here locally that's doing stuff, Win Mobile Homes, and I'm licensed as a mobile home sales agent now. And what I found out is this is affordable housing.
Yeah.
They're able to buy a property with seller financing for cheaper than they can rent an apartment in the same zip code.
Yeah.
And they get to own a property. And so there's so many ways to help people. And really that's where my heart is now. It's really what I love about Michael, people don't know this, but maybe they do because you own AZREIA, but you are a teacher.
Cool, man.
You have the heart of a teacher. And I think when have a heart of a teacher, we want to help. Mm-hmm. We want to, give that encouragement. We want to give the tools and the resources and the trainings and stuff that can help them succeed. And the benefit, it sometimes it's people look at that like, why? I am a big believer in mentors, and I'm a big believer having the right mentors, because it saves you so much time and heartache and struggles and all those failures. You can have a lot less failures. You can learn from someone else's failures than your own.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how experienced you are. To this day, we still have mentors.
Think about the people that we know that are successful, that are very successful in this business. If you talk to them, every one of them have had setbacks. Every one of them have had some sort of financial thing or family situation or something else that's just pulling on them. And all of us probably right now have something going on in our lives, and realizing that's called life.
Yeah.
We don't get to escape that. We have some of those things for reasons to help us learn to navigate and to become the person we need to be, whatever that is, and find your spot. What I love about AZREIA too, it's you get to see those like-minded people. There's something, for some people it's off. I think people look at entrepreneurs that they're a little off because they don't think the same way that school has taught us to think. Just go to school, clock in, clock out, go to work, go get your 9 to 5 and get your paycheck, go home, be happy. And that 100% that's great. But for some of us, God has called us to do something else. There's a stirring in us to serve in a different way. And sometimes that's thinking in a different direction than the whole other crowd's going. And that's why I love creative financing, because everyone's like, it can only be done this way. I've talked to so many realtors that don't know how to do a lease option or don't know how to do a seller carryback. And they're just hurting their sellers because they don't know that.
You're covering a lot. So one, you said, we all have problems, right? So with the listener, if you're listening, well, I hope you're listening. But like, think about the homeowner that made a bunch of bad decisions or inherited a home that they never wanted. And I like to say cash always works until it doesn't. So when that cash offer is not capable or can't be accepted, you have to go in the toolbox and pull out the subject tos, the seller carrybacks, the wraps, the lease options, the options, no. So it's like you got to at least have them in your toolbox. I would like to say, I don't like to hear it as I don't like to train them as like, you're a seller carryback investor. You know what I mean? Right. Like I'm a lease option investor. No, like it's cool to specialize in it, but like, no, you need to have all the skills, know available what's out there, know if you don't understand it fully, where to get the help to understand it fully so you can put the deal together. But that's what we're going to do at the Creative Finance Academy.
Yeah, I mean, if you only have a hammer in your tool belt, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah.
And then once you understand there's other tools out there and other ways to help solve problems, then you're like, oh my, it's like, I always use an analogy. It's like, I don't know if you've seen those videos of people when they put on, they're colorblind, they put on the colorblind glasses for the first time and they see colors for the very first time and they're like totally in shock and they're identifying the colors. Whenever you learn creative financing, it's like putting on those colorblind glasses and all of a sudden, oh, that's a potential deal now. That's a potential deal now. And that's a deal. I remember I've been hired by different companies. I come in and I will teach them some of these basics. And I tell them at the beginning before I start, two things is I'll promise you from today. One is you're going to learn some of the strategies that you're going to be able to use. The second thing is you're probably not going to sleep tonight because you're going to be thinking about all the deals you passed on.
Oh, yeah.
Because you didn't know how to solve that problem.
Yeah, like especially like leverage, right? So it's like, we love cash. I always take the cash. If I can get 50 cents on the dollar all day, right? So it's like, but, if you can't, or you structure a carryback and you can get a 5-year balloon, 10-year balloon, houses double every 10, 12 years.
Yeah, especially
in Phoenix, mainly, right?
Yeah.
Like in those type of markets. So it's huge. Yeah, you'll start looking back. Do you have like a home run story, a creative story that you like to share?
Well, there's a bunch of them. I'll tell you one I was just in the beginning of doing lease options, and I haven't done them on scale yet. It's actually one of my first lease option deals, and I was like, I didn't want to hang on to it. I didn't know, like, at the time, I wasn't really carrying a rentals and stuff, and I wasn't really prepared for that yet, I think. And so I assigned the deal over to a fix and flip buyer of mine that was looking for an Airbnb in the Gilbert area.
Okay.
And you probably know him, Brian Kingdeski.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So Brian sold him the deal for a $5,000 assignment, and I split the assignment with the homeowner. I'm like, you got an FHA loan, you don't have a lot of equity, there's not a whole lot I can help you with. Maybe we can try this, because they were moving to New Mexico. So we turned a 1-year lease option to a 5-year lease option.
Got it.
He Airbnb'd the property. I think he said he was making about $3,000 profit a month.
Wow.
And then when he sold it, the market went up. He sold it about 3 years later, and he made $100,000.
Wow. Yeah. You should have done it, right? What are those?
I was like, dang it, right? But you know what? Happy for him.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
It's one of those things where it worked out. The market timing was great for him, and the seller was fine. They got the money and they got to move, and they didn't have to worry about taking care of a property that they weren't around, and it was a win-win-win.
Do you think today, like with the market being stale for the last couple years, we're not really dropping, we're not raising, maybe a little slight dips in certain areas of
zip codes,
zip codes. I feel this could be one of those plays when you lock in today. Yeah. And in 3 years you can exit. Because I remember when I was starting, when I started in 2010, pretty much from 10 to 20, 21, it was just going up slightly. It just went straight. Everyone had the wind against their backs. So I noticed a lot of investors they would do the lock it in option, whatever it is, hold it for 2 years, clean it up, sell it. Yeah. Do you think with the little dip we're in or the little stagnant period, it's a good time for that?
Yeah, I think it all goes back to just the numbers and the underwriting. I know there's some people that'll say, oh, totally go upside down, don't worry about cash flowing. I'm a lot more conservative than that. Yeah. I like to have some equity in case I need to exit quick. Yeah. And I like to have some cash flow just to cover maintenance and stuff. My very first seller carryback deal was a rental property. I don't even think we got $1,000 a month at the time. Like that's how it was a cheap deal. I mean, it was at the time rents weren't that high. And we held on to it. We, had to replace the AC, deal with bad tenants, all the fun stuff that you deal with as a landlord and stuff. But then I remember we sold that property and we paid off my student loans.
Wow.
At that time. And I was like, dude, this business is like,
great.
you can't do that with, certain other vehicles.
Yeah. That's true.
And real estate is such a way that it's helpful tax wise if you know how to do depreciation. You can build legacy. The other thing too that I'm really excited about is the creative stuff and the creating notes. Basically, it's just paper that pays mailbox money.
Oh my God, that when you understand how banks work and how they're creating notes out of thin air,
they're literally arbitraging interest rates. That's all they're doing.
So we're at the Creative Finance Academy, we're gonna have James and Alden, Silvercrest Opportunity Fund, to come and talk about the note section of it, right?
That's awesome.
So I'm excited for that. So awesome, man. So it's very important to understand all the tools in the toolbox. So when that time arises, there's a problem and there's a house in front of you with a problem, you know how to organize it and structure the deal where everyone wins and you can grow your business.
I think what's helpful too is when you're learning that, like, it's scary because you don't know how to structure it, you don't know the right paperwork, and maybe you learn some of it, but still you haven't done it yet. But having someone that's done a ton of them, holding your hand, walking you through the process, very helpful. Love
it, man. So any parting words as we wind down, Brandon?
Come to the Creative Real Estate event, March 14th and 15th. And I think creative financing is going to be huge in 2026.
Okay.
It really is. Yeah. There's still a lot of low interest rates out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's still more than 40% of the homes are owned free and clear.
Wow.
And if you understand how to structure it right, you can create assets out of it and stuff that cash flows for you as an investor. You can build legacy wealth.
And then how do we get in touch with you if you want to chat with you?
BrandonTheMan.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's my website. Yeah, I actually answer my own phone. You can call or text me 480-818-6460.
Awesome, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Well, then, thanks for being here. Once again, great show, great information. And if you're new to AZREIA or the real estate world and you kind of want to understand how it works, I wrote a 12-day email series. So if you go to AZREIA.org, 12 steps, 2 steps, you could get an email from me every single day. I encourage you to reply. I will reply personally with you and help you out. Otherwise, check out our calendar, AZREIA.org/calendar. We do about 10, 12 events a month. I'm at a lot of the events. Brandon comes to the events. You never know who you're going to meet. And that's all I got, man.
That's great. No, thanks for just keeping AZREIA going and being such a great organization to help all of us investors.
Love it, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the AZREIA Show with your hosts, Marcus Maloney and Mike Del Prete. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you found this information valuable, head over to AZREIA.org and learn more about our community.